when I decided to work in 9 to 5, I never thought my career would lead me to a unicorn. God, if I'm a customer care representative, just say that. I feel like we're too hot for anxiety. Like, beauty is exhausting. Oh my God, I wish society would just shift away from women's beauty and let us show up anyhow I want to show up. Hello everyone, my name is Amaka and this is my first official YouTube video, which is very interesting because I've been creating content for at least 6 years now, but I've never actually gone on YouTube like to do a proper long form YouTube video. So everybody say welcome Amaka. Anyway, get ready with me or get to know me while I try, keyword try, to put on some makeup because makeup is really not my strong suit. I don't know the things that the girlies know. So I do whatever with my makeup, but it suits my face because I never had to really do too much. So watch me while I do it, while I answer some questions that I asked my Instagram followers to ask me in a way to get to know me as I launch my YouTube platform. I had to go take out the headband because I was getting the mother of all headaches. And honestly, I feel like this frontal should have seeped into my head. I hate frontal wigs, by the way. That's the first fact about me. I sell hair, but I can't stand it. Like, I'm so sorry. Hair touching my neck, error. Hair in my face, error. Hair sticking to my skin, error. Anyway, I am gonna start this makeup because I'm actually very late to the things I need to do. I have a content to film today and I haven't started my makeup. Second random fact about me, I have visited 25 countries. Okay, I don't even think this is random anymore because I'm now a travel creator. It used to be random when I hadn't branded myself a travel creator, when I was just this random girl that liked traveling. And people were so fascinated to hear that, oh, I visited all these countries. But anyway, I have visited 25 countries. Do I think that's random? No. Do I think it's a big achievement? Hell yes. I feel like I was supposed to do foundation first before this thing I'm doing right now. I don't. Anyway, second random fact about me. Well, not random, but second thing to get to know me. I am 30 years old. In about 3 or 4 months, I'm not even sure again, I will be 31. This just goes to say that I don't owe though, because oh my goodness, I still feel like I'm 15 or 16 and I'm not even capping. Like, every time I hear my age, I'm like, what do you mean I've lived on this earth that long? It feels unbelievable, if I'm being very honest. But I am actually that old. It also helps that I don't look it, which is great. Another fact about me, my dad is a pastor, an Anglican priest. Okay, I feel like that's in past tense now because he retired. But my father used to be a man of the cloth, meaning I grew up in a very ultra-religious household. It meant that so many of the things that were just for people were very strict for me. For example, I could not wear trousers, I could not go out, I couldn't bring friends home. That's if I wasn't allowed to have friends. It wasn't cute. But thankfully, I grew out of all of that. I found myself, not without fights though, because I had to fight my parents for my own independence. But I'm glad we came out on the other side. Another fact about me, I am the only daughter out of 4 children, which means I have 3 brothers. One is older than me, and I'm older than 2. There's so much other responsibility on my head, which means they expect decorum. They expect me to have the household together. They expect me to bring everyone together. There's just so much expectation. I do not wish this on any girl. Honestly, I wish every girl can just live freely and not have any of these expectations. But yeah, that's my story. Another random, not so random fact about me, I have 5 businesses. Business number 1 is Amaka's Hair for Days. That's the hair, the wigs. I started selling hair in 2016 while I was still a final year student in Uniben. The goal then was really to make money because it did not take me long to realize that my parents planned to stop giving me bar immediately I graduated school. I was like, what the what do you even mean by that? Like, why would you stop giving your child, your only daughter, money? But yeah, I realized that and I was like, I'm in danger. You know that chuckles, I'm in danger meme, yeah. So I decided to start thinking of what I could do to make money. And obviously at that time, the easiest thing I could think of was what I was already passionate about. And it was hair. Anyone that knew me in Ibinidion and Uniben, they know that my hair was always laid and it was always flawless. Like, hair has always been my thing. I've always liked hair. it made sense. It was a no-brainer that would be my first business. When I started selling hair in uni, I would sell out like all my products, go and restock again. And it gave me the confidence I needed to enter into the real world. Because if I didn't start selling hair in uni, maybe I started selling in the real world, I would have seen how actually tough it was and probably quit. So if you're in university, please start that thing that has been weighing on your mind that you need to start. You will be so grateful that you did, trust me. Business number 2, swimsuits. So I've always loved bikinis. Oh my god, you can take my pictures back to 10 years, I don't even know, but since I discovered a bikini, it's been my love. Like always love bikinis. Is it just me or is my face a little red? Because my neck looks dark-ish and my face looks red-ish. This is why I hate makeup. Anyway, I'm going to use this fixer and I hope that it blends the skin work. My friend had this hand fan that, could use to fan down the makeup so it dries quickly. I do not know where it is, but that would have really helped me right now. It's this lake house that I'm in. It's very beautiful, but not very functional. And I don't like spaces that are not functional, no matter how beautiful you are. Because tell me why there's no power. They said they turn off the gen at 9 a.m. and they won't turn it back on till 6. Okay, I get that. But what happened to NEPA lights? Like, what happened to power, like general power? This country is supposed to have 24 hours electricity. Back to what I was saying. So swimsuits. I was going on a trip to Kigali, Rwanda, 3 years ago, and I was on the hunt for a white bikini, like a white bikini set. I couldn't find. Like in the entire Lagos, I could not find a decent white bikini. I found a page though, some swim something, I can't remember their name, that had, but they were so ugly. It was like some granny. Man, I don't even know, but I definitely wasn't wearing that. And I was so perplexed. I was baffled because what do you mean? And then it occurred to me that there was a gap. There was a market. Being the Igbo babe that I am, I identified the gap and I was like, That was all I had, a thought. So at that time, I had just discovered Shein as well. I discovered Shein in 2021, the year before. So what I did was I ordered myself a bunch of swimwear for my trip. It's so funny because Shein takes 2 weeks plus to deliver. So it means that I couldn't even wear that on my trip because my trip was like in 6 days, right? But I ordered an entire carton of swimwear. All of them in my size, which is what was hilarious. I'm also sure what my size was between medium and large. So all of them were medium or large. And I was like, okay, this is for my holiday, but if I can, I will sell the rest. Anyway, when I had gone on my trip and come back was when the bikini arrived. And at this point now, I had to sell them because even what I needed it for, I didn't use it. So that's how I said, I'm selling swimwear. That's how I started selling swimwear. Honestly, the rest is history. I announced to people that I was selling swimwear. Thankfully, I had built some type of social capital that I did not have when I started Amaka's Hair for Days. So it made selling swimwear significantly easier because all I had to do was spread the word, do a little marketing, get my sexy friends to wear bikinis and pose for pictures. And before I knew it, I sold out the carton. I had started buying more cartons. I did a whole lot of pop-up shops that year. And we were in business. That is how Amaka started her bikini business. Travel was a friend of mine, which we had gone on a trip together. And he's like, you're brilliant at marketing. I'm brilliant at operations and strategy. Why don't we bring our brilliance together and start a business? I was like, ooh, risky. But I took the plunge and I did it. And also 3 years down the line, I have a travel company and it's thriving. That's all I can say. I started selling activewear the next year as a no-brainer. I started going to the gym and also noticed the gap in the activewear industry in Lagos. People were selling top for 50k and bottom for 40k. And I'm like, this is insane. I mean, starting to create my own, I realized that the manufacturers actually manufacture them that way, but definitely not at that pricing. So it first started with me buying it for myself. Then I just started selling it because I could. I really just do things because I can. Who's going to check me? Nobody. I do what I please. Anyway, that's for activewear. Then at the end of 2023, I think, still the same year, this is a skill I've had for the longest because I always put gift boxes together every year for all my businesses. I decided to finally separate it and monetize it on its own. So I started curating gifts for special occasions, and it has been great. Of all the businesses I have, that is the most natural. Like, that's the one that just comes to me because that is the core of me, right? Is what I love doing, is what I can do. Honestly, if I was asked to quit all my businesses and keep only one, I will leave only the gifts. But economically, there will be a tussle between swimwear and hair because those are the money makers right now. Those are the ones funding my lifestyle, if I'm being very honest. Okay, so that's me and my 5 businesses. Another random fact about me, I am a gym girl, as in I love the gym, but I hate eggs. Another random fact about me, I am finally in a safe, loving relationship, something I wanted all my life. If you know anything about me, or if you followed my life on the internet, you will know that I spent my entire 20s mourning love. Yeah. It just felt like love was always eluding me. Like I somehow wasn't good enough for love. Like only temporary things were coming my way. One time I had to ask, I said, God, if I am a customer care representative, just say that. Because what do you mean by 2-month and 3-month relationships? But now that I'm finally in a relationship that I feel like I can rest, this was my exact prayer. I said, Lord, give me a love I can rest in. And I found it. What other random fact is there about me? I live in Lagos, Nigeria. I have a 9-to-5 job. I don't know if I talked about that. I lead social media at Flutterwave. Flutterwave is a global payments company, one of Africa's great unicorns. I think Africa's biggest unicorn, actually. And yeah, when I decided to work in 9-to-5, I never thought my career would lead me to a unicorn. We'll get to a place where I'll be so good at my job and I'll be winning awards for how good I am at my job. Well, that's my life and I'm so grateful. Do I know what's coming next for me in terms of career? Honestly, no. I know that I always trust the road ahead of me. I may not see where it leads to, but I always trust the road. I don't know, I feel like I didn't get this right. Do you see my problem? I have makeup anxiety because I may be doing something right, but my brain is telling me, yeah, you're doing it wrong. This is not nice, this is not pretty. And it just makes me lack confidence and doubt myself. Honestly, I know that people with anxiety can relate to this, but I feel like we're too hot for anxiety. Like, I hate anxiety so much. It really, really, really hurts the girlies. Like, what did we ever do to deserve this, you know? Every time I mistakenly overline my Cupid's bow, I hate it so much because I already have a lot of lips. Like, I have no business trying to make my lips fuller or bigger than they already are. I'm gonna quickly do... Should I do my eyeliner now or I should just spray it down my face? Oh my goodness. Oh, that hurts. Totally forgot my brows. So, because I have really full brows, I do not bother with my eyebrows. Like, I don't do anything to my brows, really. I would just conceal it, like the extra hair. But you see, I missed that step at the beginning of the makeup. So I'm just going to carry my brows like this. Like I did such with the brows. But I honestly can't be arsed. Also, it's not like I'm going anywhere. Well, I have lined my eyes, whether I like it or not. And I don't have any bronzers, so just gonna apply lip gloss, my Fenty cream. I don't like using too much of this gloss because the pigment is a little weird. I don't like it. My outfit is purple, so I am low-key matching my gloss to my outfit. I stepped away quickly to go spray some water in my hair because I just needed water to detangle it. And this is the final look. I'm not sure how I feel about this makeup / hair look today, but maybe when I put on my outfit, I will feel better. Anyway, I just want to say thank you for getting to know me while I got ready. I hope that when you find my channel, you subscribe immediately, okay? Subscribe to my YouTube. I'm going to be dropping mostly lifestyle, travel, relationship, love, friendship, entrepreneurship, professional career, everything, honestly. I want this YouTube to be a space for sharing life experience. So whatever it looks like today it could look like travel, it could look like faith, it could look like wisdom, love, romance, career, whatever. I'm going to share everything with you. Thank you so much, and it was nice to meet all of you. Subscribe to my channel. Bye.